The first of these principles came from a Vedantic scholar named Tulipa. It's not exactly bestseller books, but it's the kind of thing that really excites me because I think of going back 1,000 years or 2,000 years and reading what some of the greatest minds had to say and how open they were to the potentiality that each and every one of us has for greatness. This first principle says, as Tulipa put it, have a mind open to everything and attached to nothing. One of the central principles of my life is that no one knows enough to be a pessimist about anything. Each and every one of us, when we close our minds to what is possible for us or what is possible for humanity, closes off the genius that resides and lives in each and every one of us. Having an open mind doesn't necessarily mean finding fault with all of the things that you've been taught by others. It means opening yourself up to the potentiality and possibility that anything and everything is possible. So having a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing really means finding within ourselves the ability to get rid of a trait inside ourselves that I find so common in the contemporary world. You know that most people that I meet spend their lives looking for occasions to feel offended. They are out there actually hoping they can find some reason to be offended, and there's no shortage of reasons. They're out there everywhere. The way this person dresses, what this person said. They turn on the TV, they're offended by this. Someone used language they didn't like. Someone doesn't share the same customs as you. If you keep track tomorrow, you will probably find 100 reasons that you can go around being offended. A mind that open to everything and attached to nothing says, I'm never looking for anything to be offended by. Whatever anybody has to say about anything out there, my response to that is that's an interesting point of view. I've never considered that before. I remember being interviewed for a morning television show, and the woman who was interviewing me said, how does it feel to be talking to people where audiences of people have all these strange beliefs, these weird things they come to? It intrigued me because one of the things that Emerson said is in one of his very first essays. He says, the first thing that we have to say respecting new views here in New England, where we are right now, is that they are not new, but the very oldest of thoughts cast into the mold of these new times. That was in 1842 when he was speaking about that. When this woman asked me the question, she said that, doesn't it offend you that there are people out there talking about using crystals to heal somebody? I remember my response. My response was, if I've got hemorrhoids and someone out there convinces me that crystals are going to heal them, I'm ordering crystal chairs. All you have to do is understand the principle called the placebo. What is a placebo? It's nothing more than a convincing belief. If I hand you this pill and I say this pill is going to cure your arthritis, and you take it, and the pill is just a sugar pill, but your arthritis disappears, I'm into buying those placebos. Where can I get them? It's true of everything. When you think about all the things we enjoy and what our life is like, it took people who had a mind that wasn't closed to make the progress that we've made. Progress is impossible if you always do things the way you always do things. The other word in what Tulipa said is be attached nowhere. Attachment means I am deluding myself into a belief that if I can't have or can't do this or that thing, then somehow I'm going to become immobilized. In a recent book of mine, A Spiritual Solution to Every Problem, I have an observation. It's an observation from Anthony DeMello, a man I respect enormously, a priest who, in The Way to Love, puts it this way. Here's a great test for your relationship, especially those who you are in a relationship with those you love. Not those who are your children, but your spouse and your lovers and so on. So try this test on for size. 1, I am not really attached to you at all. I am merely deluding myself into the belief that without you, I will not be happy. And 2, here's the toughest test for non-attachment. I leave you free to be yourself, to think your thoughts, indulge your tastes, follow your inclinations, behave in ways that you decide are to your liking. How's that for a challenge? So what most of us do in our relationships and why they are not as successful as we would like them to be is that we become attached and we tell ourselves that if this person behaves in a way that I find offensive, then I can't be happy. I make my happiness, my fulfillment dependent on those people that I love being what I think they should be. Detachment doesn't mean being a victim. It simply means I know I can make my life fulfilled and happy by having a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. The second principle is a very simple principle. It says you can't give away what you don't have. It sounds ridiculous, but it's more than meets the ear. People who are not good at giving away love are not good at giving away love because they don't have it to give away. If I want to give you a dozen oranges, I can't give you those dozen oranges if I don't go out and pick up a dozen oranges someplace. Otherwise, it is just empty rhetoric. The same thing is true in virtually every other area of your life. You can't give away love for others if you don't have love in here to give away. If what you have in here is contempt, if what you have in here is anger, if what you have in here is fear, then these are the things you are going to be giving away in your life. There's a law in the universe, they call it the law of attraction. It works like this. You get back from the universe, the world, what it is you put out there in the world. If you're putting out there into the world, I am not worthy of attracting something beautiful into my life, then the universe will respond back exactly with that message. There were people who came to me for years when I had my own conselling practice. They would come and say to me, wait, I just keep attracting the same kind of people, the same kind of events, the same kind of losers into my life. Why is that? I keep attracting an absence of abundance. I suggested to them, has it ever occurred to you that this is the very kind of message you are sending out to the world? The ocean of abundance is there. You can go to that ocean of abundance and you can take a Mack truck. You can fill it up 20 times a day and take it out of there. And guess what? It doesn't impact at all. You can go to the same ocean of abundance with an eyedropper, and you can take that much out once a month and say, that's all that seems to be available to me. The interesting thing for me is that when people go to this ocean of abundance, this limited world, this all that I have is thine from the Holy Book, if you go to this ocean of abundance and believe that you can only get so much and other people are going to get it before you do, then you'll find yourself creating that very same thing. The even more interesting part of this, you can't give away what you don't have as a principle, is that if your message to the universe is gimme, 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 which is a lot of people's message to the universe's response to that kind of mentality is practically the same. The universe will say right back to you, gimme, gimme, gimme. You'll find yourself never ever arriving, but always being in a state of striving. You'll feel you're always being neglected and never feeling as if you have enough, always feeling you're being shortchanged because you're constantly under the pressure to give to get back what the universe is demanding from you. The interesting thing about this is, the irony is if you shift that and you say to the universe, to the world, how may I serve? The universe's response back to you is, how may I serve you? When you take your energy and attention of what you are demanding from the world and instead say, what can I give to the world? This is the basis behind that very line that President John Kennedy's inaugural address, ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The irony of this is, and I've learned that in my own life, that when I stopped thinking, what's in it for Wayne Dyer and how much can I get, and began to shift to how can I help you? People who write to me, I send them something. When I meet someone who needs help of some kind, I'm often just giving that to them. Then I find it just keeps coming back into my life. Once I shifted that energy off, what can I have, into you, what can I give? It seemed to me that the universe responded back with the very same message, what can I give to you? The most wonderful, incredible abundance has flowed into my life in every way that I can possibly think of. You can't give away what you don't have. So, take a look at an inventory of what you do have. How much do you love yourself? How much kindness do you have in you? How much peace do you have in you? How much joy do you have in you? If you're able to give that away as many times in a given day, watch and see how much more of that continues to show up and come back into your life. The next principle I call, don't die with your music still inside you. Who better to quote than Thoreau right here in Concord when he talked about some of us hear a different drummer and we must march to the music we hear. All of you watching, all of you here in this beautiful parish, all of you have some music playing. All of you have a heroic mission. There are no accidents in this universe. We all show up here with a purpose. There's an intelligence that is a part of everything and everyone, and all of us are connected to it. Too many of us are afraid to listen to that music and march to it. You out there, I know you have a book you wanted to write. I know there's a composition you wanted to compose. I know there's a song you want to sing someplace. Maybe you want to raise horses out in Montana. Maybe you want to open an ice cream shop on Cape Cod. Who knows what it may be. Maybe you just want to travel and see the world. Maybe you want to go into a relationship with, but you've been afraid to, but your heart says it's the right thing to do. All of us feel something. In Leo Tolstoy's famous novel, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, he asks this question that would be terrifying to me. He asks, as he has his accountant from Moscow lying on his deathbed contemplating the horror of this question, what if my whole life has been wrong? I've known what my music is. It's playing right now as I stand before you with these cameras in this place, and as I sit down and write my books and tell the world what I know are my truths. I feel always completely on purpose and fulfilled. At no time will I come to the end of my life and say, what if my whole life has been wrong? Whoever you are, whatever that music is, however distant it may sound, however strange, however weird others may interpret it to be, don't get to the end of your life and know that you are going to leave and not have it played yet. Don't die with your music still in you. It's the message of the greatest teachers that have ever walked among us. It's the message I give to you today as one of the principles for success and peace in your life.